how do you expect this to impact the team in the short term and the long term?
Well, Emily, I think that you have to look at this in the context of the way that the sports business works. And the reality is that the sports business infrastructure is a very high fixed cost, high fixed expense business. And so with the player costs on the one hand and everything else that goes into the cost structure essentially being fixed. And the revenue streams, whether they be local television, national television, licensing, ticket sales, sponsorship, most of those are actually long-term agreements that don't really respond very quickly to market forces. Now, obviously, you have the CarMax announcement today, but that it remains to be seen whether that will be an isolated incident or it will be something bigger.
Ed, let me suggest, I mean, I think what's interesting about this, to me at least, as a longtime sports journalist, an NBA journalist, in fact, I mean, is that you had so many players and team executives, other team executives, come out instantly and not dispute the notion that this could be true or not. We still don't know for sure if it was Sperling himself saying these things. But I wonder from the perspective of the league office, not only could the long-term deals know that this was happening in the background and that this is the way Sperling conducts himself, if indeed these were his statements. But I also wonder what the league has known about him, and we know that he's been a thorn in the side of the league for a long time, yes?
There have been issues going back to when he moved the team from San Diego to Los Angeles in the early 80s. But I think really that, this is sort of one of those perfect storms where we see a combination of celebrity, of some tawdriness, some race issues, billionaires. You have a lot of ingredients that only a screenplay writer could really fully appreciate, all happening all at once, and it's managed to crowd out of the top news stories of the moment, things like racists in Arizona and issues of searching for planes in Malaysia and the Indian Ocean, and it's a very interesting sort of study on the news media, the sports media, etc. But as a business matter, it seems to me that it's really too early to tell what the ultimate impact of all of this is going to be. I mean, it is one of these, small incidents that has mushroomed into a large incident. I will say that sports leagues are pretty adept at crisis management and damage control. I mean, that kind of is one of the core competencies of a sports league. You're always dealing with, player fines and coaches misbehaving and issues of particular calls and the like. And clearly this is a bigger issue than the everyday. But
right.
You look at what the NBA has had to deal with in recent years. You had the Donaghy refereeing matter, which went to the core of the legitimacy of the games. That's probably as big as it comes.
Well, Ed, we are hearing now from more sponsors who apparently think it is a bigger issue. Virgin America has just announced that they're also going to withdraw their support from the Clippers. I also have that statement from CarMax calling Sperling's views completely unacceptable and that they directly conflict with CarMax's culture of respect for all individuals. While we have been a proud Clippers sponsor for 9 years and support the team, fans, and community, these statements necessitate that CarMax end its sponsorship. My question, Ed, is right now, in the middle of the playoffs, they're going head-to-head with the Warriors. How does this impact the games happening right now? Could fans just not show up?
Well, I don't think that you're going to see fans not showing up. I mean, there may be on the margin some small impact in that regard. But, fans, a fan is a pretty hardwired creature. And, if you've followed the team and the players for years and years and years, yes, you're clearly going to focus on these sorts of things that are as highly publicized and controversial as they are. But it doesn't really follow that you're going to abandon support of the players, the coaches,
you say that, Ed,
the team itself.
I can't imagine the Blake Griffith Clippers jersey is going to sell this week like it did last week when he had that dominant game in Game 3 against the Warriors. And I think that the damage to the brand, I wonder if there's at any point, especially when the brand is starting to expand into new media, using Twitter and Instagram and all these new forms of media all over the world to expand the brand of the NBA, that this could actually damage the financial value and compel the league to get involved where they never have before, especially the new commissioner.
Well, clearly Adam is facing the biggest
Adam Silver, the new
challenge
commissioner of the
his
NBA,
commissionership. Yeah. And you know, he's a very smart guy, and he's been around this business quite a while. And frankly, he has been in the background as various of these other issues have faced the league. So I'm quite confident he is going to find sort of the right balance. You know, there is a certain sort of rush to judgment going on. And that's unfortunate, but clearly the statements are you know, are not acceptable if they're proven to be legitimate, and we don't know that yet. It's you know, it's in one way has very little to do with the game of basketball and the product. But, you know, as is the case where in an interconnected world where everything relates to everything, you can't very well escape.
All right.